Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. When it comes to Tyson Fury, or more specifically Tyson Fury's apostles, you really can't win. You really can't, because usually I'm getting heat from all the fanboys saying, you're a hater and you leave our Lord and Master alone, and, Tyson can walk on water and he can do no wrong and everything's everyone else's fault, and all the bullshit they come out with. And then when you give the guy almost a bit of, to be honest with you, indirect credit, suddenly people are saying, why are you supporting him? He's an arsehole. Well, this happened to me. I'm sure I'm not the only one, because, as you know, I'm very, very critical of Fury outside of the ring, his behaviour over the last 2 years, the way he's handled, large chunks of his career and gaslighted people and lied and so on and so forth, and overcharged people, fleeced his very, very gullible audience. But when I did last week, when I did a top 10 heavyweights, in my opinion, what the current top 10 are, I put Tyson Fury at number 2 after, obviously, Alexander Usyk. And some people are having a right old go at me. Well, you got him at 2 for? Well, he's just lost 2 fights. Well, yeah, he lost 2 fights to Alexander Usyk, and they were reasonably competitive fights. No, he shouldn't be in the top 10. Now, I should mention one thing that is valid, and that is that some people said, well, hang on a minute, Fury's retired, so why are you even rating him? Okay, I don't believe he has retired. I don't think many people believe he's retired. He'll be back. But yeah, okay, you can make that argument. If he's retired, why put him in the top 10? He's a retired fighter. Why are you ranking him? I get that. But let's say, just for the sake of argument, because we're playing the devil's advocate like we normally like to do, let's say he's by all intents and purposes an active fighter. He hasn't really retired. I don't think anyone believes he's retired. But so is putting him at number 2 wrong or justifiable, or could be at 2, maybe a little lower, or whatever, So I thought, let's think about this. First of all, he's lost to Alexander Usyk. And although they were 2 clear wins for Usyk, the fanboys will say Fury was robbed. But then if Fury had been sparked in the first round, they'd come up with some bullshit reason. And, no, Usyk won those fights. He won those fights, okay? Many of the rounds were competitive. Fury definitely won some of the rounds. But as far as the victory goes, it was a split decision and a unanimous decision. It should have been 2 unanimous decisions, all right? And, of course, lest we forget that Fury was all but knocked out in the 9th round of the first fight. He came in light, he came in heavier, he tried this, he tried that. No, Usyk's just a better fighter, more talented fighter. And considering he's so much smaller, he handled a much, much bigger man brilliantly. He's a great fighter, Usyk, a great fighter. But if you're competitive with him and you take rounds off him, does that mean you're a bad fighter? Of course not. Tyson Fury is a very, very good heavyweight, even now. Even though he's probably past his best, he's not a shot fighter. He actually, in the second Usyk fight, I thought he fought better than in the first one, which isn't, a lot of people will say that as well. But he looked anything but a shot fighter, and he would have beaten, if not all, then most other heavyweights. Now, of course, that's a subjective view, but who else, if you don't put Tyson Fury second to Usyk, and that's the only man that's ever beaten him, who are you going to put in second place? Well, one person a lot of people mentioned was Martin Bakole. And I heard on more than one occasion, well, Fury lost his last 2 fights, but Bakole's beaten a legitimate contender in Jared Anderson, knocked him out. Fury hasn't beaten a legitimate contender for, whatever it was. I mean, Dillian White was a mandatory, but White was, I think, his punch resistance is shot to bits, really, and Fury got rid of him. And yeah, I mean, as I've said before, you can take Fury's record and dismantle it, and you take out the Vladimir Klitschko win in Dusseldorf and the contests against Deontay Wilder. There isn't a lot there, not really at world class. I mean, 3 wins against Derek Chisora, throw out the third one, but he was the first person to beat Chisora, and, but that goes way, way back. That's kind of like saying that, when Joshua knocked out Dillian White, I mean, that was for the British title. That was a long, long time ago. But there isn't a great deal of world-class, meat on the bones of Fury's resume. But nevertheless, the only man to beat him is Usyk, and Usyk is a damn sight better than Jared Anderson. And also, lest we forget, Bacoli has a defeat on his record as well. He got stopped by Michael Hunter. And yes, I know he did have an injured shoulder in that fight, but he almost quit in that fight. People forget this. So Bacoli, and I like Bacoli. I like watching him. He's exciting. Yeah, he's a good heavyweight, a very good heavyweight. But put him above Fury based on past achievements, based on current form. Would the Fury who fought Usyk the second time have beaten Bacoli? I think he'd have probably outpointed him. But again, that's just a subjective view. And then you've got people like another one that was mentioned was Joseph Parker. Why not put Joseph Parker second? Well, Parker has had a 4-fight winning streak since being knocked out by Joe Joyce. And he has Zhilei Zhang's scalp and Deontay Wilder's scalp on his record. And I'm a big Parker fan. Definitely he's been on a great run. Putting him above Fury in the rankings. Would he beat Fury if they fought? I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, they're good friends, aren't they? I wouldn't rule it out. But no, I would. The Fury that turned up for the second Usyk fight, I think, would probably outpoint Parker. And that's not to say that Bacoli and Parker can't beat Fury. Yes, they can. This is the point. Just because I put Fury second in my top 10 doesn't mean that anyone beneath has no chance of beating him. Again, we're talking about hypotheticals here. So it's very difficult to sort of crunch it and, sometimes you might wake up the following day and think, I should have put him above him or him, Who else have we got? Zhilei Zhang. Would Zhilei Zhang beat Fury, the modern Fury? Again, I would have picked Fury, the Fury that we saw against Usyk. I would pick him to outpoint Zhang, who's got a notoriously bad engine but does hit very, very hard. Someone like F.A. Ajagba, would you think F.A. Ajagba would beat Fury? I don't think I put Ajagba in my top 10. I probably should have done. I probably should have put him in the 10 instead of Jared Anderson, but that's much of a muchness, isn't it? Ajit Kabayel, who I rated very, very high. I think I had him in number 4 or 5 in my. Now that would be an interesting fight against Fury. I like that fight. I think Kabayel could pinch a win over Fury, but again, see, Fury is so big, so rangy, and he's got lots of experience now, and he's got a very high ring IQ and he's very strong mentally inside the ring. What about Filip Hrgović? Would you pick him to beat Fury? I don't know. No, probably not. But he's got a fantastic jaw. Hrgović has got the best jaw in the division, I'm telling you now. And then you've got the younger people like Fabio Wardley. Atama is too. People talk about Atama like he's already a top 5 heavyweight in the world. He isn't. He's never been beyond 6 rounds, and he's a tremendous prospect. But that's all he is. He's a prospect. So yeah, I mean, this is all subjective. But really, I mean, the purpose of this video is because, I just want to point out that you can't win with Tyson Fury. You give him any kind of by proxy praise. I just happen to think he's the second best heavyweight in the world. He deserves that status. And suddenly, you're licking his ass. And then if you make any kind of criticism of him, out come the fanboys with their pitchforks and torches and start, you have to barricade yourself in. But come on, I mean, it's well, look, tell me what you think about Tyson Fury. Where does he belong in your current top 10? And tell me why. Don't just give me a figure. Tell me why. What's your reasoning behind it? Because we like to think this is an intelligent boxing channel. It's not just this is not just for the silly people. We want to hear some proper breakdowns. Tell me where you'd put Fury. It's like when Joshua lost twice to Usyk. Back-to-back defeats. People were like, "Oh, it's terrible." he shouldn't be anywhere near the top 10 now. Why? Because he lost twice to Alexander Usyk on points. Come on, I mean, you've got to be reasonable. Of course, the one I haven't mentioned is Daniel Dubois. A lot of people were saying Dubois should be second. Okay, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Okay, maybe I should have put Dubois second. But would he beat Fury? Would Dubois beat Fury? I almost forgot to mention Daniel, didn't I? But yeah, I mean, he's got the IBF belt because Usyk gave it up, or the IBF took it off him. Where did I have Dubois? Was it third? I think I might have had him third. But yeah, that's the one where I would think, Dubois against Fury, that would be a great fight. And let's hope that Queensbury, who seem to have their fingers in every heavyweight pie going, can make some of these fights. Anyway, like I say, let me know what you think. Comments below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could do that, that would be a big deal. And hit the like button as well, because you're helping out the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I will catch you later. Bye for now.